finally moved in, trying to get some infrastructure stuff done. I'm going to take this old grinder station that somebody's welded in here, and I'm going to kind of make an interchangeable one. So it's going to be kind of a DIY how-to. Just setting up something simple in your shop that allows you to kind of swap out a bunch of different tools if you just have a limited space. So we'll get to it, and I'll show you how to let me start getting this one taken down and torn apart, and then we'll start putting on the other stuff. That was far harder than it should have been. Alright, next thing we're going to do, cut this thing off, get rid of it, maybe come back and find some reinforcement points for this, because it does have a bit of a twist to it. Not that it's a huge deal, but I'd like it to be as solid as I can get it. Plasma cutting, my favorite. Although I'll probably put some gloves on. And I'm wearing the proper kind of eye gear. Alright, these are the properly tinted glasses. Get some gloves on here and get started. Hard to see in the light, but I had to clean up this whole thing here, take some paint off, made some room up here for a gusset. Probably have a couple of gussets that I'll put all the way out there. I don't know if somebody sprayed what that is, insulation or mud or old concrete or heck, I don't know what, but it is nasty and it is filling the entire shop up with dust. So that sucks, but I'm gonna have to get it going, get it put back together. Okay. So here are the parts and pieces I am going to be using to mount to this steel stud. Now I'm going to chop this off here, flush with this, and weld this onto that steel beam. If you have 2x4s or 2x6s or whatever that you've used to make the side of your wall, you can also weld a plate here, or they actually make a few mounts, Versa mount and a few other people make mounts that stick out straight like this. Northern Tool, Harbor Freight, check Amazon. There are a number of other places you might be able to find something like that. I'm doing a double so that I can have a second table. I'm going to have one long table that I can send out and then a shorter table, so I kind of have a two-tier system, and I can have some additional storage and I can keep tools right there, so I can have multiple tools kind of stacked out for tiered use. And then eventually I'll also go ahead and put additional receivers down below as I have more tools, so I can just store all the tools in one place, and then the work surface will stick out just a little bit further than what I'm storing. So I'm going to use that cut off right here, and then I'll use this to attach something lightweight to it. And then for the initial mount, what I'm going to have is this, also from Harbor Freight, is a step and trailer hitch receiver extension. So this is going to be my main work area right here. So let me see if I can't get you a good look at it here. So this is the whole thing together. Flip it over. See if you can't see the. So the one I'm using in particular is the Hallmaster hitch extender, dual hitch extender, and I'm also using the Hallmaster hitch extension with step. Now I picked up both of these at Harbor Freight today. I'm sure there are similar items that are available on Amazon or at Home Depot or Walmart.com or Northern Tool or Menards or any other number of places. And they probably have way better welds than some of the booger welds that are on here. But at the end of the day, these aren't super structural. All they have to hold up is a few grinders, maybe an anvil, a light anvil, small vise, a few things like that I'm going to have just kind of a station for metalworking right here on the side. So let me start chopping this stuff up, and I'll show you when I get it pieced back together and tacked up on the wall. Alright, so what I did over there on my Tack Life carbide saw, fold cutting metal saw, is I cut the extension off of the back here like that, so that I just have this piece, and that's what I'm going to mount directly to the wall. And then at some point I'll attach something on there. So for the 30 bucks, you know, if this is all you buy the first time out of the box, you'll have this piece here that you can mount to the wall, and then this piece here that you can mount a plate to for a grinder or for a wire wheel or for a chop saw or anything else. I mean, anything. You can even just buy the tube, just a length of tube at your local metal supermarket. You know, you can use an old trailer hitch. I've got a few floating around, you know, that have just been in every old truck I've ever gotten or car that I've ever had or sold. Probably had one on there, so every one of them's got something different. So I can take this hitch off, and if I need something that drops down a little bit, or if I wanted to raise up a little bit and be a little bit higher of a work surface, like say on these bottom ones when they're down, instead of having, you know, I can make them that, I can use a little bit larger of a drop if I want to use the bottom one as well. I could even in theory double these up so that I had two connected to one if I wanted to do something that was seriously going to be applying a lot of pressure one way or another. I could do that, or I could mount this a little bit higher than I would normally like and use the second one as a drop down, so I'm kind of splitting the difference in the most comfortable areas and give myself a workspace that's, you know, from, you know, somewhere mid-chest down to waist, and that way I have just kind of options for what tools fit with other tools, and it just can kind of mix and match a little bit. But like I said, I'm going to start with this larger one over here. I'm probably going to mount my belt grinder to this. I just got a cheapy Harbor Freight, you know, made of Chinesium green belt sander that's probably on its last legs, but I'll go ahead and mount that. That's why I bought this. It's got a big wide surface on it, and the large grinder and wire wheels on the grinders and stuff I'll probably mount down below that. And then I'll have several other things. Like I said, I'll have several points where I can just attach extras to the wall over here, so I have them stored right there with it, so I can just quick swap and exchange, and that'll be that. Alright, things are going to get a little cramped here for a second, but I'm going to go ahead and tack this on right here. Kind of eyeball a tack on to begin with, then I'll put my bullet level on it and get it leveled up and make it all square and pretty and plumb and all of those things, etc., etc. That's it, just enough to hold it on. tell just looking at it, and it's probably this beam is actually probably a little twisted. So I'm going to try and make up for some of that if I can. Another tack on it. Pretty good. And you may be asking what amps and wire speed and all that stuff I'm running. As many as I think the 110 outlet I'm running is a dual voltage, so whatever I think this 110 outlet right here can give me, that's what I'm using. So that looks pretty good right there. Again, I think this beam has a little bit of a warp to it, so it's kind of kicking back that way, so it's not really truly square to the room, but I don't really care about that as long as it's fairly square as far as this goes, so that you know, my things aren't sitting weird that way. So let me put my hood on and I'll go ahead and weld this thing up for real. Sorry you guys can't see me right now. I don't know, maybe I'm not sorry, maybe y'all aren't sorry, I don't know, but here we go. Well, I think my camera shut down right in the middle of all that, but I have these great gussets that a local guy makes on his CNC machine, and you know, nobody makes fun of my welding. I'm a grinder, not a welder, but he makes all these gussets just out of his scrap steel on his CNC machine when he has stuff left over, just so he doesn't waste anything. So I get them for like, you know, 50 cents a piece, a quarter a piece, $1 a piece, depending on the size, instead of $5, $6, $7, $8, $10, whatever it is that Summit charges. But as you can see, it's welded all the way around, gusseted on both sides and the top. So that ought to be, I mean, it's every bit as strong as the beam that it is attached to. So it's all I could hope for, I guess. Okay, now for the part where we start figuring out how we want to set everything up. So I have a bunch of options. I can do something like that. And I'm going to probably drill some holes and put some setting screws in here so that we can kind of level these out. See how they have a lot of the flop and wobble in them. So I'm probably going to weld a few nuts on here, just one top and bottom, then here one top and bottom, so that I can get all the play out of it and just, you know, ram it up so that these things become level. But that'll be for a later day. For right now, I'm just trying to get the basics laid out. So if I have that set up, well, that won't work there, will it? Be in the way of everything. I'm going to set that up right there where we had it. That'll be good. And then see if I can do a drop down, something below, or maybe I can do a tall up one. I don't know. Let me see. This is a really big, tall grinder. That's kind of what the problem I think there is. Maybe that one needs to be all the way back, and then this one needs to be something extended. I don't know. Let's see. So, fun thing I can do here is I can just take a piece of extension right off the side of this one now and have an additional table. So that's one of the cool things about the system here is if I just want to add something in, I don't want to necessarily move that one, I can just slide something in here because I'm using this receiver extension for it. So I can just stack two of them up there and just take one off or on as I need it. And this one on the bottom can always be stored upside down. It's as much a storage point as it is anything else. But we'll see if I can't make it work out with two tiers here. See what I can do. I'm creative. But I think that's about as high as I want to see any of the tools here. But I could go a little bit lower, I think, and it wouldn't bother me that much. I don't know, let me see. Now that gets all in the way. To do something there, I could always do one grinder there on a wide one, and then do, let's see, what happens. I could do the wire wheel or polishing wheel, something off to the side there. This one's hitting because it's not in the right place, but you get the idea. So that would sit right there, and like I said, I could do that. That one fits fine. I think I'd probably do my wire wheel there, probably put the buffer. It looks like you guys are seeing this for the first time just like I am. Well, maybe my idea's crap, I don't know. We shall see. Maybe I'll make one with a turn on it. It's a nice thing about this, it's just a mounting point, so I can do whatever I want. So it looks like this is going to be just my work surface, and then I'll store something upside down on the bottom. I don't know that I like the dual idea. I'd rather have just one tool per. If I did a drop down there, put a small plate on it. You guys can see that, and I could fit something like that under there. Yeah. Now I'm starting to like it. And that's still at a good height here with a little roll-up chair. Don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. You're gonna fall, aren't you? Yeah. So one grinder there, one grinder there, and then yeah, we'll have a drop down or a stand with extra receivers that I can attach whatever I want underneath. So it looks like this is the, I think, 6-inch drop hitch. Looks like I might get away with a 4-inch drop for this one. Be a couple of dollars cheaper anyways, but I can use this one maybe to do the, because this one has a grinder and one little buffer wheel on it, so if I did my wire wheel there, that would be good. And then I could put this one on an extension. So I could just, this little buffer doesn't have a whole lot of torque, so I could just slide that in there. If I wanted that, have that on a plate. That right there momentarily. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Picking up what I'm putting down here. So this is just a series of ideas of different ways that we could lay it out. Like I said, this is an extension that's all mounted in there. It looks pretty solid. And I've just used the piece. This is the piece that I cut off the back right here. I'm just going to use it as a mount, I think, for one of these small grinders, maybe my TIG tungsten grinder or something, or I can put a plate on there because these things don't have a lot of torque to them. And like I said, every one of these is going to get a couple of screw locks, cam locks or something on it. We'll use this drop down trailer hitch here, which will allow me to bring a plate out and put my second grinder with the wire wheels basically right here for normal everyday use. So I'll have a grinding station, a polishing station, and a wire wheel station all at one time, and then I can attach my buffer at any point if I want, and I'll just store my buffer whenever I'm done with it. I will just store it right down here. I'll go ahead and put another receiver hitch right here, and I can just lock it in there and keep it out of the way. And then I'll make another one like this that comes out, and I'll have a little welding table on it. I'll have one that has my, like I said, my belt sander on it. But this is kind of my idea for a modular unit here in the corner. That way I can save some space. I can always put a couple more receiver hitches up here, then just have more tools, have an anvil, have whatever. Probably keep the anvil probably down here rather than up above my head. But I've got 3 or 4 grinders with different grades of wheels and all the other stuff and buffers and such on it. So alright, well, that is my tool tip for the day right here. How to build a nice little compact grinding station, wire wheel station, little welding station. Really, you can do anything you want there, and keep it pretty compact, keep it all in one place, keep it on a wall, make it interchangeable, and make it how you want it. Make it do what you need it to do in the space that you have. This is a great space saver for me. I mean, even as big as the new shop is, space is always a premium. I'll probably take a couple more of these receivers and put them over on the workbench, so if I'm doing something over there, I can just take one of these tools and lock it in over there. I'll put one next to my drill press in case I need to do something back and forth, especially like when I make the little weld table. I can have it next to the drill press. I can drill my holes and just have a work surface there. I may just make a simpler one out of wood, just as as a swing arm or something that comes out just to store stuff. There's lots of ideas, lots of great things you can do with simple parts and pieces like that. So see you next week, maybe 2. See what it is. We got a lot of other things coming because we're excited to be in the new shop, so we'll be here probably every day doing something. All right, later y'all.